Hello everyone, my name is Lamin Jai and this is News Review. So UDP today expelled 8 members of the parties, or the party rather, and these are all working as National Assembly members. I will be speaking to one of the National Assembly members whose name has emerged as one of the officials who have been yanked from the party. Also, President Adama Barrow will on Monday begin a nationwide tour, a 19 days tour of the nation, and State House yesterday said the Gambian leader will chair 44 meetings during the tour. Keksane has been closely following the developments. I will be speaking with him. And also, the Gambia River Basin Organization earlier this week organized a media visit to various OMVG energy and interconnection line construction sites in the country. We have a report on that. But before all of this, as usual, I will begin with the papers. I have Standard and also the Point. So the Standard today is reporting on the constitution there, the draft constitution, saying the lead is saying president cannot tamper with draft constitution. Also, government dispels rumors of Jammeh's return. Jammeh's witch hunt was a cover for drug business. That's a quote. I think one of the people who testified before the TRRC there. ECOWAS Competition Authority now in full swing. Also, UDP Busimbala demand NAM apologize or else. That's a little bit of a threat there. So some of the stories, the veteran National Assembly member Sidia Jata of Willie West has informed pro-democracy activists discussing constitutional and electoral reform processes that no one, including the president, can tamper with or change anything in the draft constitution to be released by the CRC. Also, on the Standard, the spokesperson of the government, Ibrahim Sankare, has described as false reports that former President Yahya Jammeh is returning to the country from his exile in Equatorial Guinea. Over the last few weeks, rumors, mostly from supporters of APRC, have been making the rounds that Jammeh is coming home on November 23rd. Okay, Jammeh's witch hunt was a cover for drug business. A former member of the Gambia Police Force, Mustafa Sise, yesterday alleged before the TRRC that the so-called witch hunt exercise ordered by the exiled former President Yahya Jammeh was a show-off experiment to convince his South American drug counterparts that the Gambia has a raw material that could be used for cocaine and heroin. Also, the Standard is also reporting on UDP Busumbala demand NAM apologize or else. The United Democratic Party Busumbala constituency executive has given their National Assembly member Sekuba Jaju up to end of November to apologize to the party executive, or else they will withdraw their support for him. And interestingly enough, Mr. Jaju is one of those officials or National Assembly members who have been named as among the 8 of National Assembly members who have been expelled by UDP today. ECOWAS Competition Authority now in full swing. The Economic Committee of West African States Regional Competition Authority, ERCA, has vowed to champion the enforcement of the regional competition rules adopted by the Authority of Heads of State and Government in 2008 to promote and encourage competition in the ECOWAS market by preventing practices that deter the efficient operation of the community market. And now to the Point. The Point is reporting saying police recover extra 42 passports from suspects. Also, Jesus, that's the former police chief there, says witch hunters were ordered to police headquarters by Jammeh. Government dismisses rumors of Jammeh's return. That's also reported by the Standard there. As investigations into the diplomatic passports saga continues, police have discovered 42 passports from some suspects that were in police custody. The 42 passports that were discovered from some of the suspects as part of the 289 passports that were unaccounted for. Ibrahim Sankare, the government spokesperson who was speaking during an interview with West Coast Region, has given an update on the recent diplomatic passport saga that grips the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Also, on the Point there, former Inspector General of Police, that's Ensa Baji, has, alias Jesus, yesterday testified before the TRRC, disclosing that the former President Yahya Jammeh ordered witch hunters to the police headquarters to engage in a witch hunting exercise. So that will be all for. So we have received information that we have gathered that UDP today expelled 8 members of the party. And these are all National Assembly members. And one of the officials whose name has emerged is Mr. Seku Marong. Seku Marong is the National Assembly member for Latrikunda Sabiji. So I will try to get hold of him now and then speak to him. I understand he's out of town. He's all the way, he's in faraway Kenya. But I will call him now, and then I think he's on the line already. Good afternoon, sir.
Anyway, okay, good afternoon in the Gambia, but already.
Oh, yes, so it should be evening there in Kenya. Honorable Seku Marong, and I'm sure you've heard the information that is making the round, that you are one of 8 National Assembly members who have been expelled by UDP.
Well, Mr. Njai, thank you very much for inviting me to the show. As you said, I also just saw it on the social media. That's on Facebook. That's 8 MPs have been expelled. But as of now, I cannot say anything about it because I didn't receive any official communication from the party. Nobody called me, and I didn't receive any letter as of now. But so, whenever I receive a letter or whatever, I will let you know about it.
So you have not received any communication to that effect that you have been removed from the party. But then what much we've gathered is that we've spoken to the spokesperson, as the spokesman of your party, and he has confirmed the removal or the sacking of 8 members of the party, and these are all National Assembly members, and your name is one of the names that have emerged. Should that be sufficient to really, I mean, say or confirm that you are no more a member of this party?
Well, anyway, I think you just confirm it from them, but I didn't yet confirm it from them. So if I confirm it from them, I will let you know about it.
Seku, how is your, honorable, let me refer to you by that. I'm sorry for calling you by your first name. You are honorable. Now, let me bring you back a little. Let me ask you about your relationship, because what we have also gathered is that you are not in good times with your party. Your party sees you as one of those MPs or National Assembly members who have been romancing with President Adama Barrow, someone that they are a political rival.
Mr. Njai? Mr. Njai?
I can hear you, sir.
Hello?
I can hear you, sir.
Mr. Njai, with all honesty, I'm aware representing Gambia in a very, very important function. So as of now, as I tell you, I didn't receive any official communication from the UDP as a party. Nobody called me and I didn't receive any letter. Until if I receive the letter, then I will shed light on the issue.
I'm asking you about your relationship with UDP. How does it look like?
Well, maybe I think that would be I think that you've spoken to UDP spokesperson and then he confirmed something to you. Yeah. I think it's better if you put that question to him. He will be more in a better position to tell you my relationship with the party.
Your relationship, now, as I tell you, but you cannot say anything on your own behalf.
Huh?
I said, but you will not be able to say anything on your own behalf.
Yeah, please, I cannot talk on this issue yet or anything unless if I receive the official communication from the party or if I receive a letter from the party, then I will, I will tell you something about it.
Honorable Seku Marong, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's Honorable Seku Marong. He's the National Assembly member for Latrikunda Sabiji, speaking to us from Kenya. He's one of the National Assembly members who are said to have been sacked by UDP earlier today. We are closely following the developments there, and if we get more facts, we will most definitely bring them to you. And now we will move on. Now, President Adam Barrow will on Monday begin a 19 days tour of the nation. This is a tour which is in fulfillment of a constitutional mandate, and then the president next week will cross over from Banjul to the North Bank and Central River regions of the country, where he's expected to address Gambians on various issues ranging from education to agriculture, healthcare, and youth entrepreneurship. So Kek Sane has been closely watching, following the developments regarding the president's tour there. He's not in the office today, but I'll try to get hold of him and then talk to him about the president's tour. I think he's already on the line now. Kek Hello. Hello, Kex, can you hear me? I think I can hear you now, Kex. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Great, Kex. So the president's tour there, next week he will begin, with a plate full of unresolved matters. He will begin this tour next week, a 2-week tour of the country to meet the people in fulfillment of a constitutional mandate. First of all, what do you make of the tour in terms of its timing?
All right, thank you very much once again, Lamin, for having me on your platform again. I wish I could have, but the traffic was blocked, that's why I was not in the studio.
Yes.
But notwithstanding, we will go ahead. For me, the timing is very, very, very wrong because it's not just like going and meet with the people tour. It's not just like just president just get up and go. It is meant for a purpose. And for me, the purpose has already been defeated because we are already here.
Yes, yes.
And the Constitution made it very clear that the president should tour the country twice in a year, at least.
Yes, yes.
Twice in a year. So you cannot do it once, you could have doing it twice in a year.
Yes.
And for me, the best practice is to do it twice in a year, at least. Before the rainy season starts, you go and meet with the farmers. You know what is their anticipation or what do they need right now in terms of their cultivation and other things. And in the middle of the rain season or after the rain season, you go there to look at, the way you discuss with them, the way they will sell their crops and other things.
Yes.
But, just sitting until the end of the year, it is a poor practice from the president. It shows that it has no care for the farmers because right now, what are you going to say there when the rain season has already failed and there was no plan for the government? And even they have plan, when are they going to implement it? That is 2020, which means automatically for 2019, you have nothing for the farmers. So for me, the timing is very wrong.
So, and Kex, this tour is coming at a time when the health of our economy is not at its best. According to statistics obtained from the central bank, for example, the Gambian economy, well, that's what they would tell us, that the economy is sound and robust. But the ordinary man in the street, I'm sure you've been speaking to a lot of Gambians. What is the ordinary Gambian saying and in respect of the president's tour, and what do you think the ordinary Gambian would tell President Barrow when he meets him?
Yeah, actually, I made a study about the whole issue of this year rain season, but what I made to understand from the ordinary Gambians, for them, this rain season isn't even failed, but it's all geared towards government failure in terms of advising the farmers to know that this year the rain season will delay, because what we know, or our farmers know, is mostly that rain starts at May and it finishes at September or October.
Yes.
That's what we know. But sometimes, things change. And that is the work of the climate change, to advise the farmers that this year the rain will delay for this time, it will start for this time. But there's no statistics that has been done, or there's no study to be done. So people cultivate, they put their seeds under the soil, expecting that it will rain in May, and it doesn't come, and these insects ate all their crops, and they have to for another seeds so that they can transplant them or plant them in the soil. And some of them who doesn't have those seeds, only the seeds that they prepare for the rainy season, could not continue with their rainy season. It's all geared to the failures of government in terms of agriculture, to advise the farmers to understand when the rain will start, what will be the climate kit, what is the best time for them to put their seeds under the soil. All these things are structures that the government has to work on it, to advise the farmers, because climate change all the time, rainy season change all the time. But all these things were not done. So what I learned from them is that we have experienced a bad rainy season this year. And for them, there's nothing, to sow out. Even what they will use for their family is not available right now, rather than thinking of even selling it outside, because they could not have much of crops that they can even sustain for their family consumption, rather than even selling it out. So the whole rain season, what I gather from them is very poor. And but me, I put the blame on the government for not advising the farmers, to know the right time to do their sowing and other things.
So now, Kex, before I leave you, I just want us to thrash one thing out: the broken promise. When President Adam Barrow in 2016, promised or pledged that he was going to preside over a 3-year transitional government and then step aside, go home. A lot of people, I'm sure, believed him. Can you hear me, Kex? Can you hear me, Kex?
Yes, now I'm getting it.
Yes, I am saying when the broken promise, I was talking about the broken promise. When President Barrow back in 2016 promised or pledged that he was going to preside over a 3-year transitional government. A lot of people believed him, but now that he has reneged or he has changed his mind, saying that he would be going for 5 years, is this something that one should also expect as part of the discussions, as part of when he meets with Gambians, he comes face to face with Gambians? Do you think this is one of the issues that might be raised? Do you think Gambians could go to meetings and tell him, well, I mean, do you show us why we should trust you again, when in fact you have pledged this and now you are saying another thing?
Yeah, actually, since Adama Barrow has moved from the agenda of the coalition and said that he's a full-fledged government, he said he's going to serve for the 5 years. He's now no more a transitional president.
Yes.
But he's a full-fledged government that is expected to solve all the problems of our country. That's how he should not be treated as a transitional president, whereby we can give him some jams and say, okay, this is what he can achieve. But Adama Barrow shows us that he's a democratic elected president who is there for the full term. And if you say that you are a democratic elected government who is ready, who is not a transition, we should see you as a president who should solve all the problems that we have seen in this country. And failure to do that, we will criticize you as failing your responsibility as a president. So for me, there's no excuse. Adama Barrow decided to go for 5 years, and the Gambian people, if you look at some of them, will believe him, some of them will not believe. So it's left to the Gambian people to decide whether this is somebody who we should trust or this is somebody who we should not trust. Because he's the one who came before the whole nation and promised us that he will serve for 3 years and he will hand over the government and people go for election. But he never did this. And he decided to go for 5 years. Whether the Gambian people will trust this type of pageant is left to the Gambian people. Whether they still they will not trust him is left to the Gambian. But for Khemes Sane, I can speak for myself. He is not somebody who should be trusted, because he stood before the whole nation and gave us a promise that he's even a businessman and he's going to, immediately after the transition, he's going back to his business. But this is the same man who is now even thinking of re-electing, not only even stopping at the 5 years, but he want to contest in the next election. And we have seen all the signs and the symptoms that he want to create his own political party and contest for the next election. So the Gambian people should know whether this person is somebody who should be trusted or not. But for me, there's no excuse. Adama Barrow must solve all the problems of this country. And this farmers' tour is not just a mere tour.
Yes.
You have to know the conditions of the farmers, what is their needs, what is the rain season, what should they... But, you cannot sit until the end of the year. Just like the State of the Nation address, it was done very lately when you could have addressed the nation at least the first or 3 months of the year. When you inherit a government, you don't just follow the footsteps of somebody who you inherit, but you look at the best practice, and the best practice, they do things at the right time.
Yes.
But Adama Barrow is not doing things at the right time. Right now, we can see. When he addressed the National Assembly, he came until 3 months before the end of the year. You come and address people about your policies and programs of the agenda of 2019, when almost we have only 4 months to the end of the year. So automatically, what will you be implementing? Because the whole purpose is for you to tell us your agendas and your programs, and the National Assembly members will scrutinize, look at whether the government is going in the right direction according to the State of the Nation address or not. But now, who can guide you? Who can tell you that this is the way, this is not the way, when you didn't do it at the right time? And the same thing happens to the farmers, because you could have gone there and collect all the data, all the information from the farmers, and come and sit with the Minister of Agriculture and say, okay, this is what the farmers are encountering. This is their problem, and this is what we intend to do, and this is what we can gain in the short term. This is what we can gain in the medium term. This is what we can get in the long term. And the Minister of Agriculture will put according to the information gathered from the farmers. But you cannot sit until the end of the year. You said you are going to meet the farmers. What is the purpose? What information are you going to bring? When already 2019 has gone, only one month from this, then that means that you are planning for 2020. Then what was your plan for 2019? There's no plan for the government in terms of agriculture.
Keks, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, bro.
That's Keks Sane there, a Gambian journalist there. So what we will do now, we will take a short break, and we will be right back.
Provision of affordable and reliable electricity has always remained a challenge in the Gambia, and this is invariably affecting the socio-economic advancement of the country. But now, an ambitious electricity project being implemented by the Gambia River Basin Development Organization is expected to take to another level the country's efforts in bringing constant and dependable electricity supply to the doorsteps of the people. Expected to increase the country's electricity generation capacity by 225 kV when completed, the OMVG, a sub-regional institution with the Gambia, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau and Senegal as members, is embarking on a large-scale energy project aimed at interconnecting the electricity grids of the 4 member countries. The project also includes the construction of hydroelectric power plant at Sambangalu in Senegal. Supply of clean, renewable and low-cost energy, boosting the electricity market by sharing hydroelectrical resources in this sub-region, sub-regional integration and improving the livelihoods of local populations are some of the benefits that this OMVG project is expected to yield. On Monday and Tuesday, the OMVG organized a media visit to some of the sites of the energy interconnection line construction project, and the tour took reporters to Brikama and Kamfenda in West Coast region, as well as Jarasoma in Lower River region. During the visit to Brikama, which hosts one of the 15 OMVG substations, journalists were taken on a conducted tour of the facility, where a team of engineers are working round the clock to meet the deadline. Media was informed that the contracting company Vinci has begun a massive bush clearing for line routing. Containers of pylons have also started arriving there, and more are being uploaded from the port to the site weekly. The site has offices and most materials for work is already stored there. Highlighting the significance of electricity to the attainment of the development goals, country coordinator of OMVG, the Gambia, Mr. Bailamin Silo, told journalists that
electricity is development. Electricity is life. Electricity can reform the human being, because we know the importance of electricity in terms of your economical growth.
Like many large-scale development projects, the OMVG Energy Interconnection Line construction project is not without impact for the farmers whose land the line will cut through. But the OMVG country coordinator says those affected have been duly compensated.
There were people who were farming here, and we moved them out, and they were compensated. They were compensated of the land they were working on. That is this substation. It is about 300 meters square. You can see this substation. Yeah, it's about 300 meters square.
Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy, is upbeat that the benefits of the energy project will be far-reaching.
OMVG Energy Project aims to reinforce cooperation and regional integration by exploiting and using wisely the potential of hydroelectric resources of the 4 member countries' 3 river basins.
And Governor of West Coast region is optimistic that the OMVG Energy project will open up his region for investment.
West Coast is one of the big regions, and I am equally grateful and hope when it kicks off that we'll begin to see more investment, not only in my region but the whole country.
Also visited by the media was the Soma substation that will be connected to 225 kV transmission line from Tanaf in Senegal, running through Soma and then continue to Senegal to connect the central dispatching station in Birkeland, the line from Soma to Brikama. This is what the governor of Lower River region said when she addressed journalists, OMVG officials and representatives of local authorities.
This is a very special moment. Indeed, a very special moment. Energy is never a small objective when it's come to national development. It has ever been in the key front in all our national development agendas, from the days of colonialism up to today. And indeed, we are very lucky to stand here today to witness such a magnitude of an electricity project that is coming to give us electricity in the entire 4 breadths of the country.
Meanwhile, The OMVG Energy project is not all about electricity generation. The project is also expected to boost agricultural productivity in the country, as 50,000 hectares of agricultural land is expected to be irrigated once the project is completed. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, this is Mamadou Justice Dabo.
Very well, folks. That will be it for News Review today. Thank you very much for being there. We will be back on Monday. Until then, my name is Lamin Jai. Thank you.